हाय फ्रेंड्स, मैं शैलेश जैन टाटा म्यूचुअल फंड में लास्ट 6 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ. वन ऑफ द फंड्स विच आई मैनेज इज मल्टी एसेट अपॉर्चुनिटी फंड एंड आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू टेक अ ब्रीफ अबाउट दिस. व्हाट इज दिस फंड ऑल अबाउट एंड व्हाई यू शुड बी इन्वेस्टिंग इन दिस फंड. सो ब्रीफ अबाउट द फंड. टाटा मल्टी एसेट अपॉर्चुनिटी फंड एक ये हाइब्रिड फंड है. ये एक यूनिक टाइप का हाइब्रिड फंड है जिसमें 3 सेगमेंट्स है इन्वेस्टमेंट्स के लिए. एक इक्विटीज़ है, एक डेट है और एक कमोडिटीज़ है. एट एनी पॉइंट इन टाइम आपको ये तीनों एसेट क्लास इस फंड में इन्वेस्टेड रहेंगे. इनका एसेट एलोकेशन कैसे होएगा? बिकॉज इट्स एन इक्विटी फंड, तो मैक्सिमम 80% तक जा सकते हैं इक्विटीज़ में. 10% टू 25% आपका कमोडिटीज़ में रहेगा. कमोडिटीज़ विल इंक्लूड एग्री एंड नॉन एग्री. कमोडिटी स्ट्रेटेजीज में इंक्लूड आर्बिट्राज एंड नॉन आर्बिट्राज. सो नॉन आर्बिट्राज मतलब लॉन्ग लॉन्ग कमोडिटीज इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. और आपका जो बैलेंस है 10% to 25% will go into debt. So on the launch date, this fund was launched in somewhere in March 2020. We have completed around 4 years. The fund is almost 10x in assets since the launch. In terms of performance, the fund has always been in quartile 1, quartile 2 since the launch. On the strategy, the fund follows the principle of GARP. What is GARP? Basically, it means that growth at reasonable price. On the reasonable price, what we mean that we will buy stocks which we believe is reasonably priced. We neither buy expensive, neither we chase momentum where we buy expensive growth stocks which we believe are out of the value, or neither we go buy deep value stocks. So for us, the idea is very simple: creating a portfolio where there is an earning stability, where we believe that there is earning re-rating possibility, or where there are turnaround candidates. The idea is to create a portfolio across earning cycle, which generates profits and which generates capital appreciation. The fund on the equity side, the fund has the flexibility to pick equities across market cap with no sector biasness or preferences. On the debt side, we continue to buy high rated debt securities. On the commodities, the investment will be into arbitrage and non-arbitrage strategies across agri and non-agri products. Fund का performance since the inception has been quite good. We have always been ranked in quartile 1 and quartile 2 since the launch. The benchmark of this fund is a composite index which comprises of 65% of BSE 200 TRI index plus 20% I Comdex plus around 15% of CRISIL short-term bond index. At the moment, the current allocation of the fund is 66% of the fund is invested into equities, 55% is net long, 11% is into arbitrage strategies, that makes up 66%, 13% is invested into debt, and the balance is into commodities. Commodities includes arbitrage and directional long commodities strategies. On the large cap, the fund has around close to 60, 67, 69% of investment into large caps, 12% is invested into mid cap, and the balance is into the small cap. On the asset allocation, the top 10 stocks comprises up to 29% of the investment in the fund. The top 3 sectors is around 32% of the fund. So on the risk, macro risk is what I believe is getting at large now. There are a lot of uprising happening across the subcontinent. There are uprising happening in the Middle East and in the Russian area. Those may pose some challenge to the market with the fact. Another risk which has opened up is the yen carry trade risk, which actually created a lot of volatility in last week in the markets. Having said that, if you really see, India is the only market which is growing at this pace. The kind of liquidity which is there, or the money flow has been very large, close to 20,000 crore of SIP per month is what is getting injected into Indian equities. And if this current quarterly earnings have been very stable, we continue to believe that India will continue to be the fastest growing market in the world, one of the fastest growing market, accompanied with decent earnings. So the top 3 sectors of the fund are where we are invested are financial sector, where we believe that the credit costs have come down, the margin expansion is there, the credit growth has been decent. This has led to significant re-rating in the sector, where now at this juncture we believe that a larger part of the re-rating is done. Hence we have booked some profits into some of the smaller banks. We continue to and we've moved that money into the larger banks. We continue to hold holding, but it's slightly underweight than the index. We believe that FY25 can see some NIM compressions. On the capital good, which is again a large where we are overweight. The idea is simple that there is significant large capex happening both in the private and the government side. On the power utilities, we continue to believe that India continues to be a power deficit country, and significant investment is going into generation, distribution, and renewable energy. On the utilities, we believe that utilities are continue to generate stable income. Plus, they are also the re-rating is also on the fact that they are ESG compliant. On the healthcare, the earnings have been more or less stable on the healthcare. The domestic market has grown decent with the fact that both chronic and acute have contributed to this growth. On the US side, the US growth has been largely driven by the specialty side. There on the domestic side, there has been a significant margin expansion due to the raw material. On the earnings side, we continue to believe the next few quarters will also showcase stable earnings, and we continue to hold this sector as an overweight in our fund. On the investment process in this fund, what is very critical, जो हमारे लिए सबसे critical वो ये है कि सबसे पहले ये select करना है कि कौन से segment में डालें, and segment which I mean is basically selecting between equity, debt and commodities. So अगर वो होने के बाद the second step comes into is on the equity side कि कौन सा स्टॉक ले और कितना सेक्टर में एक्सपोजर रखे. रीज़न बीइंग वेरी सिंपल दैट ये करने से ग्रोथ और स्टेबिलिटी दोनों ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव करना है. On the stocks, when you select a stock, most important thing is a deep research analysis and then a thorough introspection of or due diligence of the stock. Once this is done, the next idea is to create diversification. In generally, diversification helps you to ward off unwarranted risk on the portfolio. It also helps with the fact that if one of the sector or the stock is underperformed, it generally negates that with diversification. Last most important part is monitoring. There has to be a continuous monitoring of our portfolio. The idea is simple that if any of the stock sector is not achieving the objective with what it was invested, this would need a rebalancing or reshuffling of the same. Though most of the investments which we are done with the objective of long-term investments, but at time there may be a need where it needs to be trimmed or it needs to be shuffled with other investments. On the investment, 5,000 rupees is the minimum investments. Then after that, you can invest in a multiple of 1. SIP can even be started with 100 rupees. So just to sum up, this is one fund among the hybrid category which has exposure to equities, debt, and commodities at all point in time. The good part is that along with the equities, there is a flavor of commodities, which in general has seen a lot of movement, a lot of positive movement. Any investor who is looking for a return which will be anywhere between which will be 200 basis point to 300 basis point higher than the Nifty should look to invest into this kind of funds. In general, these funds are gives you much more stable earnings than the sectorial funds or the diversified equity funds. Thank you. It's all about the multi-asset opportunity fund.
Investments in the securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.